Hi there! Welcome to Pallet University and what is likely the final episode, at least like episode, of our Let's Play of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. We are out here in Fiery Field, because today we're going to be recruiting Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. That is the last thing, to my knowledge, that we have to do, with the exception of recruiting Celebi, Jirachi, and Mew, which will, in all likelihood, be live streams at some point at a later date. I'm very surprisingly busy right now, which I really didn't think that I would be. But yeah, so they will not be soon. They will at least be probably a week away. And I also thought it was very fitting. So these dungeons are 25 floors, and I was going to start each of them on floor 20, so I could do 5 floors each. But I thought it was very fitting that I feel like a big part of the reason why the early episodes of this series did as well as they did is because of my reactions to Ekans, like from Team Meanies, because I put Ekans in the thumbnail, and the episodes with Ekans in the thumbnail and me freaking out over how gross Ekans moves seemed to do the best. So I thought it was very fitting that we end the series by recruiting an Ekans. So now I can be very uncomfortable as it follows us around for the rest of this dungeon at least. Actually, you know what? I might as well bring it to the rest of the dungeons, just for the meme. Why not? Sure, Ekans, you got it. This has been a very busy week, because not only do we have the DLC, the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC that came out, today is, when you're seeing this, is probably Saturday, so it came out on Wednesday, a couple days ago. So I really enjoyed it, personally. I feel like it could have been a little longer, but although it was longer than I anticipated, I will say that. Wow, okay, Ekans, you're making me regret this already. I quite liked it. If you, you know, there's not too many, like, spoilery things, about it, because for the most part, they tell you, like, the entire story of, what's gonna happen in the trailers, so if you haven't seen the trailers, sorry. But I personally picked the water style Urshifu. I will probably be starting a new account. Not like restarting my game, but like making a new, looks like Nintendo Switch, like profile, so that I can go through and get the other Urshifu and a Cubfu for my living decks. That's probably what'll happen. And then have a friend of mine trade them back to me. Plus, it'll be interesting to play the early game of Sword and Shield again, because I've only played through it the one time, you know? What is that? Ekans, oh my god! Ekans, why are you like this? Deep breaths, Gavin, deep breaths. Why is it the only move you use? Thank you. Attack me. But yeah, it's been a really busy week for me. I recorded almost all of the actual, like, story part of the, DLC. I could have, I didn't narrate any of it, obviously, or I would have put it up, you know, as a video. But just use as B-roll for different things. You know, I explored around quite a lot. There's some really interesting things. It's incredibly... This DLC is incredibly good for competitive battling, because they give us back a lot of Pokemon. B, they give us some really broken move tutors, specifically in VGC, which is mostly what I play. Not to mention, Urshifu is super good. It's not as like broken as I thought it would be in you know, originally for VGC, but it's still very good. Yeah, it's still very, very good. We almost lost you there, Smeargle, but you're still kicking. I will say they had they returned a feature that I did not expect. No one expected, which was Pokemon following you again. And it's not just like you can only do it while you're on the Isle of Armor, but it's not just like Isle of Armor Pokemon, it's any Pokemon. So like I had my, who's my favorite, I think? A lot of them we've already seen in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, all the Gen 1 ones obviously, but unfortunately you can't ride any Pokemon, which did make me sad. Because I really wanted to ride a Gyarados again. And even a lot of the ride Pokemon are in the game, you know? So like, Persian is in the game, Onix is in the game, Gyarados, Lapras are in the game, Charizard's in the game. So like, I feel like they really could have if they had tried. But I get that that's like a Let's Go exclusive thing, I get that. But it is cool just to be able to walk with 3D... Oh, is that gonna come? No. To be able to walk with 3D models of lots of different Pokemon, not just the original 151 plus Meltan Melmetal. I thought that was super cool. Please work. Please work. Thank you. Yeah, so it's I enjoyed it. But, like I said, for competitive things, they added the new move tutors. They make it a lot easier to get, you have to spend a lot of watts to do it. But, you can, get to a point where you buy, like, proteins, HP ups, irons, stuff like that, for, half price, which is so helpful. You have to spend, like, several 100,000 watts to get to that point. But they also implement something new that makes that not that hard. Oh, I guess Acid Spray is an attacking move. Why didn't I ever realize that? No! I would like to have a moment of silence. I don't really need this Torkoal. Rest in peace to my best friend for all of 5 minutes. Seconds. That, like, you don't know how sad that makes me. That makes me so incredibly sad. You'd think, I don't know, how many episodes are we now? Like, what is this, episode 36? I don't even know. I stopped keeping track, if you couldn't tell. Which is why I didn't even pretend to know what episode it was at the beginning of the episode. But yeah. What is it? It must be at least episode 36 or 37. You'd think by now, I might know enough to not just spam B when things like that are happening. But you'd be wrong. I definitely do not know enough to do that. Like, you couldn't script that. You couldn't write a better, like, ending than having an Ekans on my team for the entire last bit of the episode. You couldn't write that. Shifting topics entirely. I've got the new quarantine beard going. Not new, but it's like, I feel like, well, when you go more than, you know, a week without recording anything or putting up new, you know, a recently recorded video, especially when I'm just literally just letting it go, you know, you can expect a lot of change, because the only other episode that went up only other video that went up this week was of all the past, you know, stuff from my childhood. You can find the link to that video up in that corner. It was a really fun video, actually. But that was recorded basically 2 weeks before it actually went out. Yeah, it was recorded like 2 weeks before it went out, so it wasn't like, you know, up to date with how I looked. Because 2 weeks is a lot of beard growth. And like, I don't know when I'm gonna end up shaving or like, you know, trimming my beard, but it's not gonna be soon. I kind of like being the hippie beard person. And like I talked about it, you know, probably weeks ago at this point, probably months ago actually, that I was gonna grow it out and try and put like a little braid in it, like Thor from the end of Endgame. That's still the plan, although I realized you have to have a lot of beard for that. You have to have a quite long beard for that to actually happen. And it would probably take me, I forgot that this was a job, that would probably take me at least another month and a half, minimum, of just letting it happen. And like, I don't know if I can do that. Are these dungeons not? Oh, they must be 30 floors. I thought they were 29 or 25. Am I wrong? They must be 30. So I guess we're just going to do the boss battles, unless something fun comes up. Just for time's sake, because I don't personally have a ton of free time. Because I can go through dungeons quicker when I'm not narrating. So I'll probably just do the boss battles. Maybe a couple floors. We'll see how much time I actually end up happening, and how much time I happening. I swear that I speak English. So I've talked before that I do some like volunteerism work in the summer. That's right now. While you are watching this, if you're watching this the day it goes out or the day after, I am currently on like a 7-hour Zoom call. Basically helping train teenagers how to have confidence in themselves. Which like isn't actually what happens, but that's like more or less. That's like an indirect consequence of what happens. What we do is we train high school sophomores how to use their leadership skills, because the people that tend to come are the people who are like president of this club, president of their class, and do like a million other things. I know that's how I was. And so these people are like seen as leaders in their communities, but like kids are constantly told like you're not old enough to do that yet. You can't make that big of a change. You're just a kid. And that is super frustrating because now that I'm 24, yes, I realize that most people who are of that age, which is like 15, 16, you know, are still kind of kids, because like I know myself back then, and like I remember what I was like, and I am a wildly different person than I was back then. But that doesn't mean they don't have passions and don't have things that they care about, and don't have and can't make real positive change in their communities, which is what we teach them to do. You know, teach them to take their leadership skills that they already have, and then sort of teach them to focus it and direct it to make like positive changes in their local communities. And so that's what I'll be doing right now, basically, while you're watching me. And of course, this year it's all super weird because it's over Zoom, which, like, I thought would be kind of a disaster, but one of my friends did, you know, one last weekend, and they said they were like, it wasn't awful. You know, we call them ambassadors, the students. They still got a lot out of it, which I didn't expect personally. But we'll see when the time comes, I guess. And I literally have no food, so I can't not, you know, heal people up. I can't give Smeargle food. Cool. Okay, just in time, too. Hello, friend. Oh, this is Fiery Field. It is no place for your kind. I am Entei. We've literally fought already, Entei. You know who I am. I live surrounded by the fiery lava of volcanoes. Depart from here, immediately. You say depart from here, and then you just attack me. Makes sense. Let's do this. Cheese. Okay, you just wake up immediately. That's fine, too. So I'll just do this then. Maybe I'll freeze him. This shouldn't be a hard battle because we have Marowak. Oh, and Entei wastes his turn by moving. What a scrub. Do they actually make it harder for, you know, the second time around? And he moves again! What an idiot! Okay, it looks like they at least give him more HP. He definitely wasn't doing more damage. There it is. So no, I guess they don't make it significantly harder. Cool, Entei joined the team. No. I probably went about this the wrong way, where I should have done Raikou first, and then brought Raikou with me to fight Suicune, and then brought Suicune with me to fight Entei, but we're already out here. But yeah, maybe this time I'll actually get to floor 25 of the next one, and pick it up from there, because we're already more than halfway through the episode. But I do have some more things that I wanted to talk about, so maybe I'll just talk about those off screen. Or, yeah, I do have more things that I want to talk about, so we will do some more dungeon floors. But I guess, I don't know which one of the two I'll be doing next. I'll probably do Raikou next, just to do Entei, Raikou, Suicune in the order that you do it in, like, in the game. So I'll see you guys in Lightning Field in just a sec. Alright, so we're back in Lightning Field. Yeah, we're out here, and I don't remember exactly what I was saying when we left. But I did want to talk more about the DLC a little bit. Because I realized that the first part of this video is very rambly. But since I had some time to get some coherent... coherent? Is that what I just said? Coherent thoughts. Obviously not that much time. But I did have some time to get some coherent thoughts together. Because I said several times that the DLC is really good for competitive. But they also just make it really easy to do things. For example, so they have a new item called Armorite Ore, which you can either trade 5 of them for a move tutor move, or 7 of them. So the digging duo in like the base game of Sword and Shield, you know, those 2 guys that you get the fossils from, right outside the breeders in the wild area. So they apparently have parents that live on the Isle of Armor, called Digging Ma and Digging Pa. So Digging Pa, he will trade 7 Armorite Ore, or, you know, you give him 7 Armorite Ore, and he digs up watts. And not just like a few. Like, you get minimum 20,000 watts, and I've heard stories of people getting up to like 300,000 watts for 7 Armorite Ore. Now, Digging Ma, on the other hand, she is how you get the Armorite Ore. You get, I think, 2 or 3 of them from doing max raid battles. Like the ones from the Isle of Armor. But the easiest way to... What just happened on screen? Anyway. How you get Armorite Ore is Digging Ma has like a similar thing. So it's like every time you find her, she can be in one of, I think, 9 locations. Maybe I'll make a guide about that, because it took me forever to figure out where exactly she spawns. But, so she spawns in one of 9 places. And, every time you see her, she will give you 1 Armorite Ore, or she will give you the chance to use that 1 Armorite Ore to get more. Which almost never works. You are 100% better off just taking the 1. Because out of the times that I've been like, yeah, try to get me some more, like, it's really, it's gambling. And I would say you have maybe a 30% chance of getting 2 out of it, but if you know, try and gamble, and you don't get it, like, it says, like, her shovel breaks or something, then you lose both and you get nothing, and then she moves to another spot. And it's not like they're, you know, close together either. So it takes anywhere from maybe 20 seconds to probably about 5 minutes to get from one spot to another, depending on which one she goes. And there's no way to tell which one she goes to, so you have to just keep checking them until you find her. So it is kind of annoying. You can get 1 Armorite Ore every couple of, like, depending on how the RNG ends up working out. You can get 1 every, like, 1.5 minutes, probably on average. Anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. Minutes, probably. If you know the quickest way from spot to spot. Anyway, with my electric bolts, I will devastate you again. See, he says again. Entei's just like, I am Entei. Blah. Sure. But yeah, so basically between Digging Ma and Digging Pa, it's pretty grindy, but you can get watts very quickly. And watts basically are how the easiest way to get, I mean, I guess BP if you spend a lot of time in the battle tower, but getting watts is basically the quickest way to get bottle caps. And I know me personally, like, my BP I want to spend on mints and ability capsules. Wow, that was really fast. I want to spend my my BP on mints and ability capsules. I don't want to spend it on bottle caps. So that's what watts are for, because you can get, if you go to the skill digging brother, the one that's on the left side, that my hand moved to the right, but this is my left hand, the left side. Then there's like anywhere from like a 3 to 5% chance that he'll pull a bottle cap. Which when you're spending, 200,000 watts that you get from Digging Pa, you're going to get at least, 10, 15 of them, which, is actually quite a lot. Oh yeah, I had this Trico that I found along the way as well. And I don't think I have anyone else from the Trico line. And I think that's the only starter I was actually missing. So, that was convenient. Did I just click no? That was just force of habit. I will see you all in Northwind Field. Alright, and we are back with the final stretch of this episode. That would be Jonathan. If you came to some of the live streams, you might have seen him. He's my very annoying... He's very cuddly, but he's very vocal. He likes to just kind of talk to hear himself talk. Don't you, Johnny? I don't even know if you can hear him in the mic, but maybe I'll increase that in post. Anyway, he wants to get out of my room. There you go, buddy. Anyway, a professional content creator would have stopped and reset. But that's not me. I'm pretty sure that executor was just hungry and that I don't need to actually go help him. Yes. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, overall, would I pay $30 for just the Isle of Armor? No. Oh, I didn't realize that Bellsprout's an enemy. Or, not an enemy. Would I have paid $15 for all the things that go with Isle of Armor? You know, splitting the $30 that you pay for both DLCs combined? Probably. Yeah, I could say probably. It certainly makes getting my living decks much easier. Because there are some Pokemon that I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to get this. Pokemon that aren't all that common in other games, you can find relatively easily in the Isle of Armor. I'm blanking on like a specific example, but I know there is one. Yeah, I don't know. Also, right now, they're doing promoted raids of Zeraora. So obviously, like they did with Mewtwo a couple of months ago, you can't catch it. But it gives so many Dynamax candy. It gives like at least like 10 Dynamax candy per battle. And there's also a shiny one that's in 5-star raids. There's a 5% chance of getting it. And like I said, obviously you can't catch it. But that one is infinitely harder than the non-shiny ones. And for that one, you get a ton of really good drops. You get like Balm Mushrooms. I think you get bottle caps from that one. But yeah, I haven't been able to beat it because its coverage is insane. Yeah, its coverage is... It's got Plasma Fist and Discharge. Blaze Kick, Outrage, Close Combat, and Work Up to boost itself. Which is just kind of crazy to me, that that's like actually a thing. Yeah, so I've not been able to beat it. The closest I came was when somebody brought a Marshadow, which I didn't expect to like do well, but because of Spectral Thief, it actually did really well, and it helped us out a lot because it kept taking the boosts from Zeraora without taking its defense drops from close combat, which is really nice. But like I tried Excadrill, I tried Alolan Marowak because it is immune to resist fire from Blaze Kick, and it's immune to close combat. And because of Lightning Rod, it's also immune to the electric moves. But I forgot that raid Pokemon can disable your abilities. So that worked for like maybe one round, but very quickly became deactivated and it just spammed discharge, and there was nothing I could do. So I know I said at the beginning this is going to be like the last like episode, and that's sort of true. There will be a follow-up eventually, because I'm fairly certain that once you get to like max rank of like doing jobs, that something happens. And like I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure that something happens, and we will cover that when I feel like getting to that point, because it's a lot of time. For as high rank as I am, I think I'm diamond rank, I need to do so many more jobs to get to the final rank. So it will likely be quite a while before that update happens. It will happen, but it'll be quite a long time. And now Jonathan wants to come back in my room. You challenge me? I find little satisfaction in fighting. However, if you refuse my demands that you leave, I will accept your challenge. Experience it, my true power. Unleashed. Alright, Jonathan, whatever. Come on. See, now it's very noisy, because I have my air conditioner and fans on in the other room. Cool. But yeah, so as we're doing this last boss battle here, Jonathan, I'm trying to speak. Please stop. Anyway. So yeah, as we, finish this probably quite easy final boss battle that we're gonna do, I just really want to thank everybody for all the support on this series. It's been like, Jonathan, please leave me alone. He now is trying to claw at my desktop. You're so needy. I'm trying to be heartfelt here. But anyway, so yeah, I really appreciate all of the the community I've been able to build through this series specifically. This is sort of what made my channel take off, basically. And it's really awesome that through this series, which isn't like our typical, not why I started the channel, but to get people in the community who still enjoy this, as well as the more sciencey theory type videos. So that makes me super happy that we were able to build this community together. And it wouldn't be possible without this series, and who knows, once life becomes less busy for me, which I mean realistically isn't gonna happen, but I can hope. But I might get into live streaming more. Potentially, I could see myself live streaming, depending on when it comes out, the new Pokemon Snap that they showed on the Pokemon Presents on Wednesday. I could see myself doing that because I didn't play the original Pokemon Snap. I could actually see myself live streaming me emulating Pokemon Snap and playing that for the first time, because like I said, I've never done it. Before that comes out. So I could see myself doing that. Whether it will actually happen or not is very much in the air. I wouldn't put a ton of stock in it, but like I said, I could see it happening. So I guess for now, I guess just make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna say, I should have said this at the beginning, but for when those live streams happen, I will announce them on Twitter. I will not make a separate video. I might mention them if I plan them ahead of time. I might mention them in one of the sciencey type videos. But I will not be making a specific video hey, I'm streaming at this time on this day. That I will not make a video like that. I have no idea how long this video is now, but I'm sure that it's long enough. So I guess for one last time for this series, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below, and Jonathan, you're really messing with my vibe here. As well as subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pallet_U to keep up on all things Pokemon Science. And as always, there's a time and place for everything.